Oh, welcome back. In the probe of the terrorist attack in California, we learned that the shooters secured a loan through an online lender, which they used to purchase ammunition. This now is raising questions of how safe are the peer-to-peer lending companies. I want to bring in the CEO of LendingTree and the founder of LendingTree, Doug Lebda, with us right now. And Doug, it is good to have you on the program.
Thanks for having me.
What has been the response to your business and to the entire industry from a regulatory standpoint, from a lawmaking standpoint, after this loan was taken out from Prosper and WebBank for Mr. Farouk?
Sure. So far there has not been any regulatory changes, and I'm not really sure what they could be. We work with over 400 lenders at LendingTree. We're a marketplace that connects consumers and lenders, and there's already so many regulations, including when somebody fills out a loan application, it gets run through terrorist databases, and it gets run through anti-money laundering statute databases, et cetera. And in addition to that, whenever you make a loan, if somebody has a Social Security number, you're also not allowed to discriminate. So it would be impossible for a lender to take somebody who's a U.S. citizen, has good credit, and a Social Security number, and actually not make them a loan.
So you think that the plans are in place, the metrics are in place to actually identify, if in fact a terrorist is trying to borrow money?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
If you think about, yes, it is. And if you think about the opposite, if you didn't make a loan to somebody who was a Muslim or Arabic and wasn't in a database, you'd probably be sued for that, and you'd get in serious trouble for it.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So I'll ask a very simple question, because this, I think, is at the crux of it. Should authorities have been alerted at any point, knowing the details of this story, which we know much more now because of the FBI investigation, should anybody have been alerted?
Alerted after the fact?
Yes. No, leading up before the attack took place.
But they didn't know they didn't know he was a terrorist, though.
Yeah, if you don't know he's a terrorist.
Based on the action. No, I'm not saying because of he was a terrorist, because of the amount of the deposit, based on his annual income.
Right.
Then the amount of the deposit, should that have alerted any authorities?
I don't think so, because it would go just like a normal loan. If you think about it, it's a person who works at a government agency who's got good employment records and is a...
But it was out of line and out of character with any of his financial transaction history.
Nobody would have known that. I mean, you never would have known that. If he gets approved for a loan in normal underwriting standards, and it wasn't like this was a multi-million-dollar loan or something like that, it looked like the normal course of business for somebody who qualified for a loan.
Do you see yourself as competing with the big banks or partners?
So LendingTree connects consumers to lenders, and all types of lenders. We have major banks on our network like Chase and Citi and many others. And then we have some of these online lending platforms, the so-called peer-to-peer platforms. And they compete with each other in an open marketplace. And what we really want to do is bring transparency to the market, help consumers get access to credit that they might not otherwise have gotten, and have the lenders compete.
So how are things going?
Things are going fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, your stock is up 91% year to date. It's up 122% 1 year. Congrats to you.
We're seeing a major shift from where most consumers actually don't shop for loans. 50% of consumers will take the first offer that they see. And we think that if you're going to shop for bananas in the grocery store and you're going to shop for a $200 airline ticket, you should comparison shop for the biggest transactions in your life.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah, what sort of rates are we talking about for somebody with good credit? And I assume it depends on whether you're buying a house or something else.
Yeah, so what's really exploded now is the so-called personal loan market, where because of automation and technology, these loans can get underwritten and approved and then processed much more quickly. And rates will vary from, let's say, 6 to 15% based on your credit. And what we think is happening is the consumer credit market is hopefully going to be more like the corporate credit market, where you can get a loan regardless of your credit. It's just a very different rate based on your risk.
But it's lower than a credit card.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. A lot of people can pay off their credit cards with loans and pay down their debt, raise their credit score, and then qualify for better loans down the road.
Is there a precedence regarding bank regulators and sort of terrorist type of transfers, money transfers? I mean, really what we saw at Prosper and WebBank.
When you say precedence.
Have we ever seen a situation like this where you've got bank regulators and terrorist flow of money?
I think that's why the anti-money laundering statute came in, is because people would get loans or deposit them in strange ways, and that's why there's all these procedures in place at every bank to try to stop that.
Thanks for joining us.